So, a story that started all the way back in December at Winter is Coming has finally come to a head. Kenny Omega has defeated Rich Swann to become the Unified Impact World Champion, and thus the belt collector has finally officially arrived. Kenny Omega is now the AAA Mega World Champion, the AEW World Champion, and the Impact World Champion. It's one of those things that you knew was inevitable, no pun intended, but it's still crazy to see it happen. But I think the big question now is what happens next. Is Kenny gonna go for the NWA World title or the IWGP Heavyweight title? That's the beauty of this mystery. We don't know where it's going, but we do know one thing for sure. Kenny Omega rules the wrestling world and he's coming for every world champion in any promotion. And I know going into this match there was a lot of mixed feelings, especially on how AEW wasn't apparently promoting the show enough. But let me tell you one thing, this is the first Impact pay-per-view I have bought in years, so Kenny Omega is a draw. A lot of people are asking, well, what did Impact gain from any of this? Well, they only got Kenny frickin' Omega to be on their pay-per-views and now as the world champion, and therefore more people are talking about their product. I mean, if you saw the show tonight, if you went on Twitter, the show was trending all night, even up against the Academy Awards. And if early reports are to be believed, they're already saying that this pay-per-view is one of Impact's biggest buy rates in a long time. For the first time in some years, people are actually watching and talking about Impact, and that can be credited to Kenny Omega. And honestly, props to Rich Swann, because it was honestly a pretty good match in my opinion, especially those last 10 minutes, and Mauro Ranallo on the call only made the match more epic. It actually felt like a title versus title match. You know, going into this, I felt like it was just gonna feel like the Kenny Omega show, but I think Rich Swann held up his own part pretty well. But in the end, the evil and dastardly Kenny Omega along with Don Callis prevailed, and Impact sold it like it was the worst thing to happen in their promotion's history, and that was hilarious. So as I said, the question is, where do we go from here? Because Tony Khan was in attendance and he was fully cheering on Kenny Omega, so will they finally acknowledge this on Dynamite? Or will it just continue to be its own thing? Because someone made a good point that I saw online. Kenny Omega is in separate feuds in both companies. So maybe what they're trying to avoid is confusing the AEW fan who just doesn't watch Impact. Or I don't know, maybe they go back to going full MCU like they did at the end of last year when they were teasing all these crossovers. The point is, Kenny Omega has just reached his goal, but he's only getting started. He has the Infinity Gauntlet, but he doesn't have all the stones yet. And I'm also intrigued to see how Impact handles this storyline wise, because like I said, they sold it as it was the worst thing ever, so I want to see where Kenny goes from here on the Impact side. We might not know where Kenny is going next, but we do know one thing: he is inevitable. The belt collector is here.